Welcome, Sagittarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I'm getting ready to do your new moon in Cancer reading. I pulled as your overall energy the Page of Wands, and this is really about your intention. You're setting out a very powerful intention to accomplish something that comes from your gifts, your talents, your heart. This is about an expression that is natural to you, one that is difficult for you to hold back at some level, and one that you are starting. You're contemplating the start or the beginning of it. Underneath the deck, the King of Wands. So my sense is that you are beginning something you've done before, you have accomplished, you've been successful at before. Perhaps you're taking it to a new level. If this is regarding a job or a profession, you have perhaps worked on one side of the aisle and you now have an opportunity to work on the other. This is something that is, again, a natural talent, set of skills that you have developed over many experiences, quite possibly from childhood into maturity. And you're taking those experiences and you're renewing this push. Perhaps we can find out more about the nature of this burst of expression that's coming out of you. I'm going to pull a crystal oracle card for a little more flavor. I'm going to take this card, which is the Brazilianite. I don't like to see the words. I like to see the pictures. The Brazilianite keyword is flexibility. I'm flexible and free to be me. Yeah, this really does shed some light on this new start from beginning to end. I feel like 0 to 60 kind of thing. That you have started something in the past that was very similar to the journey that you're embarking upon, that you're contemplating. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've just started this journey, but you have been building up to it in a very different way. You may have been practicing some of the skills attendant to this new project or journey you're uptaking, and you are at a place where you are recognizing your ability to go the distance once again. So it's almost as though this is a bit of a surprise to you. You weren't exactly expecting to renew this passion in the way that it is coming to evolve as something that feels destined for you. And that sense of destiny also gives you a sense of flexibility with what you've learned along the way. This is a general reading, Sagittarius. It isn't going to resonate for all of you. If you're interested in a personal reading, information for that is in the description box below. I appreciate the time that you take with me. It really helps my readings. It gives me a lot of pleasure and support. If you like this video, please like it. Please share it with others if you feel inclined to do so, and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. It all helps me immensely, and I, again, appreciate you for that. In the 10th house, the 8 of Cups, you have taken all of the passion, all of the lessons learned from relationships that have lived, learned, ended, that you've learned as much from. You're sort of not throwing out the familiar, but you've evolved beyond the familiar. You've now gained the strength as you've grown and matured to pursue the challenge before you, the challenge that in many ways defines you. And because this is you regaining steam towards a new project that is a reflection of something you're already practiced at, something you're already good at, there's something about this challenge, this effort, this project that is taking you in a direction you never hoped to be able to accomplish, to achieve. There is the tones of a deep wish fulfillment here, one that you were afraid to approach in the past. You held yourself back, perhaps out of consideration for others involved, wanting to be small, to not provoke competition or envy, jealousy, fearful of the confrontation of haters. And this has sort of melted away as you've grown into the maturity of the lessons of the relationships that have served their purpose in many ways. In the first house, the Four of Cups. And this is again about the foundation in your emotional well-being, a foundation in your feelings, being comfortable with your feelings. There's a little energy here of hiding your feelings in the past so that perhaps you put on a happy face when in reality you were feeling ignored. Your needs were not being met. And rather than say so or confront that within yourself, you simply would abandon a project rather than stick it through. And there's a feeling now of you staying the course, of your practicing to choose opportunities and relationships that are supportive, that see you, that value you, not because you depend on the approval of others, as perhaps you once did, but because you now understand your own worth, your own value. This is coming from within you now. The sense of self-approval, of self-care, self-regard, self-respect, so that you don't feel that you waste time on things that are not appropriately appropriately embrace you or offer you the assistance that you require. There may be something coming around again, much like this opportunity, but maybe a particular relationship that was once couched in this arena or environment or profession that meant a lot to you. And it may be offered to you again in a way that you seriously have to consider whether this now fits who you are, fits your goals. In the past, this would have meant the world to you to have this particular relationship or opportunity gifted to you. But this time around, you've grown a lot. You're not the same person by any means that you were then. So you really are pausing to consider. It isn't a question of the love being there. The love is there. The love has always been there. But you've done a lot of work to heal this broken relationship, this disconnection in your life. And it coming around again may raise a sense of defensiveness for some of you, a sense of needing to protect yourself from the kind of damage you've already lived through. In the fourth house, the Hermit card is talking about your foundation in terms of your ability to anchor that in by consulting in with who you are. This is you establishing your authority to do it your way. And there's a sense again here, because you did achieve some kind of success in the past in a particular arena that you're approaching again. But that you tried very hard to play by the rules in the past. And in many ways, you hit a wall. The rules didn't support you. You felt that you relied on the authority of others or were held under the scrutiny of others who you could not please, who would not concede your value. And in this time around, you're not looking for the approval of those. And that can be stretched into many ways. In other words, for many of us, unless we are our own CEOs of our companies, we have to work in alignment with organizational norms or goals. And whether, even if you were successful in those, that did not grant you the authority, the autonomy, that you had believed it would or should. And that really soured you. That really brought up a lot of anger for you. But this time you've healed a lot of that anger. You've healed a lot of that frustration and sense of betrayal. And you're simply moving according to your own voice, your own authority, and you're sharing what you're learning with others. In the 7th house of your significant others, the Death card. Yeah, there's something here. There's an offer coming to you, and it represents something that died a long time ago. There's either great distance in time or physical space between you and an offer that once made you very happy. The inclusion of this relationship or connection in your world seemed to be the cherry on top of something really amazing for you, something that came naturally to you as well. So your ability to recognize the depth of the connection and to be prepared to go for it, no holes barred, disregarding any imperfection or jankiness in the connection. You were willing to give yourself entirely. This time you're not so sure. Even if this were to come around again, it may simply be an apology or a more formal closure, a more formal, not formal is not the right word, but an admission of the depth of feeling that was there and the opportunity that was missed. No blame, no shame, just a sense that the friendship was not able to withstand a lack of commitment. I'm going to clarify the Four of Cups in the 1st house, your mindset, one of learning to feel good, with the Ace of Swords indeed. So this truth, this is a hard truth for you as you've been learning to heal yourself over time by choosing relationships, perhaps opportunities, or effort that works with you, that sees your value, that allows you to participate as an equal, and how that was denied to you. Any sense of the obvious to you truth of a connection that was meaningful, that was loving, that was there's something about your intellectual connection here as well. There was a meeting of the minds in many ways. In fact, that may have been part of the attraction, which was by no means limited to the intellect. However, the realization that it was the truth as you saw it, as you experienced it in your heart, and yet that was not shared, and that no commitment was made. There was no curiosity on the other person's part to pursue this, to be curious, to see how it would work out. There was certainly no commitment to the truth of that love. In the 4th house, the house of your foundation, the Hermit card is clarified by the Two of Pentacles. Even though you have healed, even though you feel yourself to be more authoritatively able to be who you are, having earned the right to do so, you still think about this former connection a lot. It still circulates in your mind. You still review the conversations, the events, wondering what you could have or should have done differently, knowing all along that nothing could have been any different than it was. But your belief in the equity in the relationship was not shared. There was no sense that this could be worked out by the other person. It just wasn't even engaged fully. And in that way, the truth, the authenticity with which you were willing to give your heart still aches a little bit. And you still wonder about that possibility, that potential, even if you continue to guard yourself. In the 7th house, the Death card is clarified by, let's not make it so hard, with the 10 of Wands. This is a complicated story here. This relationship is one that has taught you many, many hard, difficult lessons. You've really come to a place of simply attempting to own your own actions, your own behaviors with regards to the happiness, the productivity, the goals that you seek. You're doing it yourself. You feel as though this relationship may have even symbolized the fact that you could rely on no one. If someone you felt love with so obviously was unwilling to even engage you at the most casual level, you have been left with a sense that you have to do everything yourself. And although there's no shame in being self-made or building something on your own, you have picked up a lot of responsibilities along the way because of your orientation towards your community, those that you loved, your willingness to take responsibility and see something through. This is something that was different from the past. You cut and ran, you escaped when things weren't working out. You didn't want to face the conflict, the struggle of trying to compromise. And instead, now that's all you do. You stick in for the long haul. You persevere. You don't give up, no matter how burdensome those responsibilities are. And you're on the verge of releasing those as you are coming to a place of your manifestation, of your opportunity to express yourself in the way that you know you're uniquely built to do so. But that sense of having to do it on your own is still something that causes you to want to protect yourself, to keep yourself safe from being heartbroken again. In the 10th house, the 8 of Cups is clarified by the Page of Wands, and that's how we started this reading, with the Page of Wands. So what I like about this, 8s are usually about that methodical, deliberate, plotting effort that we understand we must make, counting up all your lessons, evaluating all your resources to make sure that your ducks are in a row and that you have everything that you need internally to go the distance. And this is informing this new intention of yours, this intention towards something that you've achieved already at some level. But now you're renewed, you're a different person. And you are in the place of allowing yourself to be informed by your relationships, your resources, the skills you've gained, and the person you've become. And that's recrafting this move in a direction that is one in which you've learned to contain and focus your enthusiasm, your inspiration, your challenge. You're much more clear-eyed about the possibilities, and you're also flexible and open to the possibility that it can evolve and change into something that you're not able to foresee or plan for. All you know is the feeling of love, excitement, growth, exhilaration when you practice this skill, this art, this craft, this profession that you are now inspired to go for in a completely new way. Even the opportunity to go for it is still surprising you to a large extent. That card was already turned over. And I'm going to take that card, Ivy, and I'm going to look up Ivy in the guidebook, number 35. And Ivy reads, you're almost there, just a little further. Like the tenacious ivy vine, there is no height you can't reach in your journey to find the sun. The climb might seem impossible at times, and occasionally you'll feel as though you're making no progress at all, as walls and buildings block your path. But slow growth is still growth, and your achievements will be all the sweeter for how difficult the climb has been. Don't give up. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for this inspirational reading. If you've enjoyed the content, check out more here. And until next time, namaste.